like bandits as armed robbers attacked 3 banks in Benue State and killed 7 persons. INEC defend 2023 elections credibility, says 891 out of 1,196 petitions filed against polls dismissed or withdrawn. And later on the show, Labour Party federal lawmakers Shun's Abure set to collect SUVs. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Adewale Adeoye. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Good to have you. Thank you for joining us on Journalist Hangout on Sunday. Let's start on a note of celebration. The chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Finance, Honorable James Abure Faleke, is one of the recipients of honorary doctorate degree at the 6th and 7th convocation ceremony of the Federal University, Lokoja in Kogi State. This is in recognition of his contribution to the growth of democracy, particularly local council development, electoral reforms, executive advisory roles, national ethics and values, as well as due process in public procurement. Let's share the highlights with you.
Therefore, pertinent to seek the understanding and cooperation of all Nigerians to be patient with this administration as it is diligently pursues the Renew Hope agenda. Every graduation day in all citadels of learning is a day of joy and of new beginnings, bringing a renewed hope to the development of the whole society of the university. Graduating students are that hope, a hope for the upliftment of the society and the environment in which they find themselves. It is a day for the renewed hope for better economy, better financial and better social responsibility, of expert management of resources of the nation geared towards the delivery of new leads of life to the people of Nigeria. Graduation days are days that define liberty of the mind of students who are believed to have been tutored and who have not only passed through the university, but have in turn allowed the ethos of the university culture pass through them.
I sincerely facilitate with the honorable doctorate degree awardees for the materials achievements during their lifetime. We are also proud of those first-class honors degrees. We congratulate the combined years set graduates for their meritorious achievements and their parents, and we wish you success in your future endeavors.
The Vice Chancellor, the Federal University, will be graduating 2,738 students in its 6 and 7 combined convocation. I will only give the summary of the table for 6 sets of our graduating students.
All right, Jide, one thing that caught my attention here is the recognition of its contribution to the growth of democracy, particularly local council development, electoral reforms. Starting from that local council development, don't forget that have you lost count of the number of times, was Ojodu local council development chairman, and he was the chairman of chairman in Lagos State that time.
Yes, he's the first chairman of Ojodu local government. Ikeja was split into 3 at that time.
Okay.
Ojodu local government, we had Onigwongbo as well, and Ikeja.
The original Ikeja.
Yes. So I was the first chairman. I was chairman of Lagos chairman, and he's been very supportive of that particular university. And it's not a surprise that they decided to honor him in recognition of his hard work in the National Assembly, and even in his constituency of Ikeja, a constituency that he has represented for a record 4 terms in the National Assembly. So it's a day, yesterday was a day of joy for him and for his immediate family. My parents were there, live to...
Kabisi.
Yes, and Olori, they were there to rejoice with him, and so many of his friends as well. I think this is thoroughly deserved, and I'm sure that this will spur him to do a lot more in terms of deepening democracy in our country.
Beyond what we see, beyond what we see on TV and everything, publicity. When you go to anywhere in Ikeja local government, federal constituency is constituency. This is one of the members of the House of Representatives that you could feel his impacts, despite the fact that he's the lawmaker representing them. But in terms of development, tangible development, I can name roads in the area of grammar school, Akiode, and environment that's been tarred courtesy of this man.
Well, I think that it's not every politician that you hear their names. You don't even, some are even House of, they're in House of...
In Lagos, representing Lagos, I don't know them.
You don't even hear them.
Just sit down.
In the case of Honorable Faleke, I think since 2003, when he was the executive chairman of the new local government, he has never looked back. I've been living in Ikeja since 1992. So
at least
I've never met him before.
Really?
Yes. But I tell you that you just think that in some area that Ikeja is like a state and he is the governor of that state. Because he is the governor of that area.
Yes.
Because every street you go, it's either you see Marwa given by Faleke, or you see Korope. In fact, I went very close to my office. It's almost about 20 packed by people, And I was all weekend, everybody was when saying Faleke is coming to Onigbongo area. To people of all tribes, of all religion, of all. So, and this thing has been going on since, I'm happy that Ashwagi was able to identify him as far back as 2003. And I'm glad that he has shot himself as a national figure. Because not just in Lagos State that people are talking about him. Even in his home state, and even beyond, if you go to other areas, people are mentioning his name.
Felt everywhere.
And if you come to his constituency, you wonder whether the same people in House of Rep get the same salary or he gets more than them.
Honestly.
Because you see a lot of...
Projects.
So at 63, I think he still has a lot of things to do for this country. So I pray that he rises more on the political scale so that he can contribute more to nation building. I think it's one of the leaders Nigerians should look up to. It's a huge asset that many people are ready to testify, the poor, the rich, men and women. I think he has actually been able to stamp his feet on the sand of time. And I want to congratulate him for the great job he has been doing for so many years without looking back.
They were not surprised when he was giving the secretary to the Presidential Campaign Council that big responsibility, and that's led to the All Progressive Congress winning that election. Everything was on his shoulder.
Yes, what many people do not know is that he's a natural leader. He was born to lead. People can develop leadership qualities, but there are people that
just
have it naturally bestowed on them by God. Right from Abdulaziz Atta Memorial College, where he graduated, he was house captain of Ohimege House at that time. He was involved in sports for the school. He could do virtually every conceivable sport. He could play virtually every sport. He was a fantastic volleyball player, and Abdulaziz Atta even got to the final of the Sholadoye Cup in Kwara State at that time. They lost to Ofa Grammar School that produced one of Nigeria's greatest volleyballers in the name of Sunday James. And Ofa Grammar School eventually became national champion after beating Abdulaziz Atta Memorial College 3-1 in the final of the Sholadoye Cup. I still remember as a little boy watching. And he eventually, even during his youth service, he got special recognition, you know, as an outstanding corps member. So everywhere he's found himself, he's always acquitted himself well as a leader. And you will see that quality in him, you know. He's a gentle giant, like the late Don Williams. He's not someone given to making so much noise. Because as Shoyinka said, a tiger does not have to show his tigritude. You don't have to draw attention to yourself needlessly. And look at him in the National Assembly. He's also found himself in leadership position. You know, he is a man that his future is bright politically, because I believe it won't end here. You know, he still has a lot to offer his country, and it is our prayer that he will, God will give him good health so that he can continue to make meaningful impact, the sort of impact that caused this university to consider him for honor. Speak with the VC. The VC is from my hometown. Ekiti is a fantastic historian, was my senior in the university. The VC will tell you a lot about the things that Faleke would do without anybody knowing. That's the sort of person that he is, and it has pleased God to honor him on a day like this.
So congratulations to member representing Ikeja Federal Constituency, that's Honorable James Abiodun Faleke. Moving on, the governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, has continued to redefine governance and genuine concern for welfare of citizens. In another demonstration of this, Governor Zulum approved scholarship awards to 37 laborers involved in the construction of resettlement houses for internally displaced persons in Bama local government area. Governor Zulum announced the scholarship during an inspection visit to the construction sites, where he discovered that some of the laborers obtained secondary school certificates and can qualify for admission into higher institutions. Today, this man is always...
You know, this sort of thing comes to him naturally, maybe because of his upbringing. This is a man,
so connected with...
This is a man who struggled through life himself. He paid his way through the University of Ibadan, where he graduated. He was a cab driver just to be able to pay school fees. So he's the son of a cleric. He was not born with this proverbial silver spoon in his mouth. It's just that it pleased God to elevate him, place him where he is currently. So he knows what it means to lack the essentials of life, because he went through that, because he too had to struggle to be able to send himself to school. In all of the actions of Professor Zulum, you see clearly that desire to help the needy. It reflects in the things that he does. You see whether it is distributing palliatives to people, even before others thought it was wise to do it, he had begun to do it. He went to Chad, distributed to refugees, the IDPs there. Because when you go to Chad, you go to Niger Republic, you will see, and even Cameroon, we have IDPs who fled the insurgency in the northeast to go and hide in those places. And he went to those places to distribute money, to distribute even yards of cotton, so that they can be able to sew clothes for themselves. So he's the sort of person who will stand for hours personally dishing out the money. He's not going to tell anybody to do it for him. You see him giving the money to people by himself. He doesn't believe in dressing big. He's just different to this generation of politicians, because he puts the people first. This is one reason that I personally have taken a special interest in his matter. Look at, is the sort of person who will get to a place and imagine, what can we do? He visited the, for so long, core members did not even feel like going to Borno State, and they didn't have an orientation camp, the functional orientation camp. When he visited them, you saw what he did. He increased the allowances. He released grains of rice to them. He released cattle to them. These are the things that he does. When he visits the armed forces, for example, he will say, okay, give them this, give them that. He's just a problem solver. One who is very concerned about the poor, the poorest of the poor in our society. Farmers can't access their farms. The moment subsidy was removed, he was the first to get vehicles to convey farmers to their farms. You know? So, this one, I'm not surprised at all. What amazes me is how he manages to think of what he can do right on his feet, what he can do for the people. And, laborers, there are so many people like this, even in southern Nigeria, who will have to go and do what to call, is it birisokwe, or what do they call it? To go and carry head pans and all that, at a construction site, just to be able to pay their school fees. To pay your school fees through tertiary education is not easy. Now, look at the opportunity that has offered them. Any of them good enough by way of his qualifications to get into a tertiary institution is going to foot the bill. This is leadership. That is why Governor Zulum is the first to win the Zik Leadership Prize as a first-time governor. No first-time governor ever won the prize. But the things that he did even in his first few months in office had already qualified him to win the Zik Prize.
I think, Wale, it's also, we should give credit to the person that also discovered him too. Because I know the succession process in that Borno State. Yeah. Many people that were even very close to Kashim Shettima and everything would have looked the other way around. But to pick this person out and is living the kind of testimony that Vice President Kashim Shettima has given about
There's no doubt about that, because most people look for successors based on the fact that they think this person can just protect my interest. That's all. But I think the current VP looked for somebody who could protect the interest of the people of Borno State. He was the commissioner for the construction, rehabilitation, and settlement, and was former rector of the Polytechnic. And I think he must have seen special quality in him. The governor is in the extreme end of the country, but each time we are talking about him in Lagos, in Abuja, everyone is talking about him. It does not seek publicity, but when you are doing something good, people will notice.
Publicity will come.
Even when there are some people who are putting certain things on social media, he has been they said 1,000. So he corrected that it's not up to 1,000, so that you don't exaggerate his achievement. You understand the point? So I think he has demonstrated real quality of leadership, trustworthiness, courage, integrity, and communication.
Empathy.
If he had not communicated with those laborers, he would not have known their problem. He didn't just go there as a governor and then, okay, have you concentrated then? We will leave them. He spoke with them. What are your needs? What's your certificate? What school did you graduate from? And he was able to discover
that. He must have to have engaged in conversation, not just getting there as a governor to supervise projects.
Empathy. He was concerned about this human being. What is their future? And I think what he did in that place, he has changed the destiny of these young men. Some of them may end up as lawyers, as doctors, as engineers, to make meaningful contribution to Borno State. You see, this is a state ravaged by war. This man came around to turn around the fortunes of Borno State. Over 900 schools and hospitals were destroyed by Boko Haram. About 300 orphans. This man came and gave scholarship to the 300 orphans. Each of them gets 30,000 naira every month. And that's what he calls Borno Care. Long before he even started taking up palliatives, he will give small-scale industries, phone repairers, tricycles, tailors, about 2,000 of them. So I think this man is a special breed. He goes out 1 a.m. to inspect projects. 1 a.m. And when you are talking about courage, more than 4 occasions, there have been attempts to kill him by Boko Haram, and he survived. People were killed.
And he has not reneged.
He has not, you know.
Still going to
and even when you look at the way he dresses when he goes out, you know that this man is somebody that
Out to work. He wants to work.
So
all right.
I'm happy, you know, about him, and I wish him the best of luck.
All right. We'll quickly take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more.
A deadly syndicate. An overdue vengeance. A sacrifice of blood. A coveted crown. A self-proclaimed king.
Thank you for staying with us. It's still Journalist Hangout on Sunday. Mixed reactions continue to trail the decision of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to lift the forex restrictions on 43 items. Beg your pardon. Local manufacturers and farmers have expressed fears that the decision by the CBN is capable of sending many of them out of business. In the face of this, the free fall of the naira against the dollars continues unabated. Jide, it's becoming alarming. That fall, it's becoming alarming. When it was still hovering between 980, 920 for some days, you know, we're praying that it should not get to 1,000 naira. Immediately, it hit the scale of 1,000 naira, and we're finding ourselves in the 1,100, 1,120. I'm kind of, I'm afraid, Jide.
Yeah, because we are an import-dependent nation, and this decision was triggered by the need to divert people, because despite the fact that those items were restricted from access to forex through official channels, people were still going to the black market to source for dollars to bring them into the country. So you can imagine if people would spend trillions to bring in items that were not listed among those that you can source for dollars to bring them in through the official window. Their own thinking was, if we did this, then those people who used to go to the black market to spend more than, in between 2016 and 2023, they spent more than 15 trillion to import those items that were prohibited. So their feeling was it would take the pressure off the black market. More people will come into the I&E window to trade. But we have not begun to see the impact yet. Maybe that aim will still be achieved. And when it is achieved, of course, the parity that the CBN wants to see between the I&E window and the black market may be achieved, because at this time, the difference is a little over 18%. The difference between the margin between the I&E window and the black market is 18%, a little over 18%, whereas the globally accepted margin is 5%. Because if people continue to see, if this margin continues to grow, then diaspora remittances a good number of the diaspora remittances would not come in through the official channels because they will see the official channel as artificial. They will see the black market as the real deal. So the CBN wants sanity in the forex market, and they want more and more people to trade in the IIE window. It's one of the reasons they took this decision. But at the end of the day, when you look at the impact that it should have, because when I read about this decision, I was worried myself that where do you place the farmers? What will be the fate of farmers, for example, who for so long have been able to improve their yields largely because of some level of protection against imported rice. Government banned importation of rice through the land borders. But if people can now bring in rice as much as they want, if they can bring in some of those items that were previously banned, it means that the local producers here will struggle. Because whether we like it or not, Nigerians have this hunger for things foreign. Whether it is from Ghana or from Cote d'Ivoire. So there are Nigerians who prefer to buy Cote d'Ivoire, Ankara. They will not want to buy the ones made here. Give me a Kosombo, give me this, give me that. Once it is foreign, our people tend to prefer it. So what will be the fate of those manufacturers, knowing that people can bring in this thing as much as they want now? That is the concern. And I'm not surprised that these people are still grumbling, because it's a natural thing. Nigerians may not patronize them like before. Since those foreigners, every country embarks on some level of protectionism. You can't just leave your door wide open for all kinds of things to be coming in. There has to be some restrictions meant to protect domestic domestic production, domestic industries. So we need to do a lot of that, whether we like it or not. I agree with Olusegun Aganga, who said, see, rather than throw money at this forex thing, forex market, with a view to saving the naira, why don't we focus on empowering strategic industries, businesses that can help Nigeria to earn foreign exchange? You looked at what we have spent on Anchor Borrowers Program, for example, and we didn't really achieve anything, because if Anchor Borrowers had been such a good program, the price of rice shouldn't be this high.
Honestly.
Whatever government invests that much money on, if it cannot drive down prices, it's a thorough waste of time.
It's something thousand per bag now.
It's a thorough waste of time.
52.
And we spend all that money. We try to bring down the price of, what's it called? We stimulate production of cassava, stimulate production of rice. Yet the prices are going up. That means something is fundamentally wrong. It means that perhaps a good chunk of that money was diverted. I know for a fact that there are people who set up fake cooperatives for the purpose of accessing that money, pretending to be the farmers.
Farmers, and they never return.
So this is the thing. I think we need to look, as long as our hunger for things foreign continues, as long as we are so heavily dependent on imports, I don't know how the naira can stay strong. So now, that is already projected that by 2024, South Africa will overtake Nigeria as Africa's biggest economy. I know that is a possibility. And South Africa, their currency is much stronger. They produce a lot more. Whether it's wines or anything, their farmers, South Africa farmers, are millionaires. So what are we doing? If we can't produce for export, how can the naira be strong?
Wale, it seems this government particularly, it seems that they've not really settled down to get a grasp of this problem. Because if from 700 naira we can find ourselves in this over 1,000 naira, it's not easy foreign exchange, after some time now, to travel abroad now, it's over 2 million naira. If you're just going to the United States, you spend over 2 million naira in terms of return ticket.
There are certain things that
for economy class.
We just need to admit that this year, Nigeria entered into a chaotic economic mess. And then it was like a car that has no engine, no tires. So the new administrators coming in, and we are not talking of the president alone, we are talking of the 36 state governors. Because these policies affect all of them. Whether you are Labour Party, whether you are, they can't come out with any program that will be like a miracle. It's just not possible. Because we are as at May, Nigeria was in a terrible state of economic affairs. If you look at the Naira swap, then the politicization of the CBN, beginning from this year, the uncle borrowers and all sort of things, it messed up the economy to a very large extent. President Buhari banned these items on, I think, June 23, 2015. So we are talking of 8 years after. Let us assess in terms of what are the gains. If you look at the primary motive of the banning of those items, to protect local industries, are those local industries protected? To manage scarce forests, to ban those items, are people still not bringing those items into Nigeria? To reduce pressure on dollar, there is still pressure on dollars. People are still struggling to get foreign exchange. So the situation that we found ourselves, it was chaotic. And personally, we said it on this forum, that even if we had our forefathers, maybe Awolowo, there is no miracle that I was expecting as a human being in the next 12 months or more. Because things were just down. So for me, I think after 8 years, if you review this ban, we have not made much gain. So there is a need to look at whether that policy was useful to us or not. And for me, I think what they are trying to look at is that if they bring in these items, it will temporarily reduce the prices of those items brought in. For instance, if you flood the market with cement, it's most likely to reduce the prices of cement from 5,300 naira or oil. But I hope it's going to be a temporary measure to address immediate problem, so that prices of goods, more so that we are moving towards December, will come down. But at the same time, we need to define a kind of framework, a work plan. When they came out with this program 8 years ago, there was no plan that, okay, after 15 years, 8 years, these are the things, the gains were expected to. You can't read any CBN document that will give you an analysis of what we have gained, what we have lost. So I believe that the current policy is just a temporary measure. And if we are looking at what happens in the next 3 months, it's supposed to bring down items, the prices of essential items, oil, groundnut oil, those essentials of life that are going to be brought from abroad. But I don't think it should be a permanent measure. Maybe we should be looking about the next 1 year, after which we may reverse back to banning some of these items, provided we can produce them at home. India and China did the same thing, but there was a framework, not just to ban those items and then you don't have an alternative measure to provide those items for people when they're in desperate need for them. So I think that it should be a temporary measure, but I don't think it's really a bad mechanism for now. If it's a kind of ad hoc measure to get out of skyrocketing.
The whole idea was to save the foreign exchange for other things. President Buhari felt that, look, Nigeria could grow its own rice and feed its own people. And Nigeria was clearly one of the world's largest importers of rice, something that we can grow. In fact, 2 or 3 states can grow enough rice to feed our country. So he felt, oh, look, I will no longer make foreign exchange available for the importation of rice. That was what. So if you want to import, go and source it by yourself. But from the official source, you didn't want to do that.
For the local...
And a good number of integrated rice farms sprung up
Yes.
as a result. But like everything Nigerian, the policy, even the coming of new integrated rice mills have not brought down the price of rice, which is the concern. So people trying to show up the liquidity in terms of the dollar is something that has to be done with far more focus than we are doing. If we continue to improve production in the oil sector, we have a quota that we could not meet. If, for example, we can consistently do like 2.2 million barrels a day, I think we are going to be able to earn more foreign exchange, because there was a time that we were even doing just about 500 as a result of the activities of militants and all that, and even oil thieves. If we can produce a lot more, because they pushed us to number 3 in Africa, behind even what on Libya. Angola became number 1, Libya second, Nigeria third. And we, for so long, we've been Africa's number 1 producer. So if we can improve production in the oil sector, improve our oil production, that will also help us to earn more dollars. But foreign portfolio investment is also useful. The president has gone out trying to bring those people in, but those won't come immediately. That is my worry. My worry is, will this forex problem not get so bad before we start seeing improvement? Not get too bad before we start seeing improvement? Because somebody projected in their, one company, their budget for next year, they actually projected an exchange rate of 2,000 naira to $1. I said, may God not let it happen. Even the BDCs themselves are worried now. They are saying they want to help the CBN, that they don't want this thing to cross, to go beyond 1,000. So we don't know, but what they want is for the CBN to allow them to also buy forex through the official window. You know that Emefiele chased them away. So maybe if they allow them, maybe that will help. But it's because of the round tripping and some of the evil things that they were doing that actually caused them to be removed. But the people who have access to it, the banks, are they not doing the same thing? Do you not go to banks and they will tell you, okay, go and meet that Aboki there for your forex transaction? So we are in a very big mess, but I just hope that somehow the president will pull a rabbit out of his hat and deal with this problem. And then, of course, the backlog. If we can clear the backlog, because the finance minister said they had backlog of this thing for indebtedness that they need to clear.
All right.
So if we can do that, hopefully the Naira can stay strong, because those investors won't come if they are not guaranteed of access to forex.
All right. Moving on now. Political patronage presupposes that those who labor for electoral victory are rewarded with appointments. As such, the coordinators of support groups of the All Progressive Congress APC Presidential Campaign Council have appealed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to appoint people from the pool of supporters who were part of the campaign team before and during the elections. At a joint meeting with the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, that George Akume, they presented their grievance over poor reward system of APC since inception. Let's share the story from TVC News correspondent Abidat Lawal with you.
Today, political parties are still faced with the hangover of the afflictions of a reward system, as nearly all the existing parties in the current dispensation could hardly boast of institutionalizing an effective party machinery that is completely free from the negative effect of interference in its administration by some powerful forces. This is why it does not have in place the mechanism to recognize and reward loyal party members for their dedication to the ideals and philosophy of the party. In the 2023 election, the All Progressives Congress had the largest support group base than any other political party. Represented here are over 5,000 support groups at an interface with the SGF George Akume to register their displeasure at how the APC administration reward system has remained unfavorable.
This is a government they work for. This is a government they believe in. And they should please exercise patience. We are less than 6 months in office. And they should be patient. But as politicians, they felt that under Buhari 8 years, it was the same education, this time around. Now for the fact that the person they work for is really a fighter, is somebody that against all odds came out and said this primaries is not going to give back consensus, that they are sure that it's not aware what is happening, that they will do what they want to do. So we pleaded and Mr. Chris reached out to them, that I should reach out to them to lead them together.
You also put soldiers into a difference. You used your resources to ensure victory for the party. You recall what the enemies of progress did shortly before the commencement of the national elections. The Naira redesign policy. Yes. Which policy was basically designed to destroy our candidate and to destroy the APC. We're denying our funds. Why our opponents benefited immensely from what constituted our own demand. They were generously funded.
The only fear we have is the future of this administration. That is why I pray that this meeting and every information garnered at this meeting can get to the table of Asiwaju himself. Because we are running to 1 year in this administration very soon. The second year, after the second year, it is strictly politics of the nearest future. The blackmail about Asiwaju's administration is so much. Where do we throw the 69 days that we converge at Unifountain without going to our home early, getting there in the morning, coordinating people because of the oppositions that wants to use the avenue to blackmail Asiwaju, because of the opposition that want to frustrate the prelude to the swearing of Asiwaju. We took our decision on faith and belief in that cause and belief in the fact that Asiwaju can perform extensively to stay in Unity Fountain for 69 days.
They argue that the reason for the dearth in competence necessary to solve national problems is the persistence in rewarding people without any objective criteria. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is urged to establish an essential nexus between reward systems, political party loyalty, political stability and development. Support groups remain an integral part of a support base of any political party, and as such, concerns raised here remains valid and germane to the growth and prosperity of the APC. Habida Lawal, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, Julie, these are members of the Presidential Campaign Committee and support groups across. And after it, at the point in time, I lost count of the number of support groups. At the end of the day, they came together, and this group was led by the governor, former governor of Plateau State, that's the Presidential Campaign Council, Simon Lalong, and the Honorable Faleke as the secretary. But these groups, they are out there, they are complaining now that they've not been able to get appointments. And I've seen some prominent APC members even accusing some people that their names have been, nominated as appointed to this government, that they are not carrying members of APC. Not necessarily, but they were supporters of, the People's Democratic Party, and even some obedience.
Yes. There's no way the president can appoint only APC.
No, it's not possible.
Even abroad, they headhunt members of the opposition,
Yes.
so-called members of the rival party. I remember in the US, for example, when they are picking those secretaries, they headhunt people from the opposition. If that person has got quality, it's about Nigeria. They bring them in. But no one must deceive himself that even in doing that, no matter how committed you are to finding the best, you can find the best from the crop of people who worked for the party's victory. To not do that is to give the feeling that it is not a party that rewards hard work, that rewards loyalty. That is the point that these guys have made. I've seen some videos from this meeting I was really worried about. Worried not because I'm an APC member. Of course, I'm not an APC member and I will never be one. I'm a journalist committed to my job. As far as I'm concerned, if they've done something wrong, if they have a point, we have to say it. We have to say it. Yes, that is the job of the journalist. The journalist is not meant to see the truth and simply turn a blind eye. No, now a journalist has to do his work. So the way it is now, many people are grumbling. Look at what happened, the embarrassing thing that happened the other day when people had to even release a video of an individual abusing the president, who then got appointed.
Yeah.
That was what caused the change to happen.
And
NDDC
nominee, yeah.
Abusing the president inside the hall.
Yes.
I mean, is it that the people who are appointing people
that the old man did?
Yes. Abusing anybody who mock a person because of his ill health is a terribly bad human being.
Yes.
Because you never can tell what will happen to you tomorrow. Yeah. You don't own your life.
Honestly.
You know, so that is to tell you the kind of person that fellow is. You can't mock the president. You cannot mock somebody about his age and then come to take appointment from the same person.
The person you say he was dying now won the election now.
He won the election. You are the one to come and benefit. The people fought for that person, going from TV station to TV station, trying to make sure that he won the election. They now get the short end of the stick. There's no way people will be happy.
The sidelined.
We have to say the truth. It's not possible for everybody to be compensated.
Yes.
Let's banish that thought. Not everybody can be. But if they see that increasingly you are going in the direction of people who did not work for the party at all.
That worked against.
They worked against the party. Somebody told me that there is a particular minister that minister was working for Atiku from beginning to the end. Today is a minister. Everybody now is pretending like they work for the party. I mean, that is this politics. That's why some of us will not do it.
Very funny.
That's why some of us will not do it, because when you increasingly don't look in the direction of such people. No, it's not. You must make it clear. And I'm happy that the SGF was there to calm these people down. They love the party. They are not enemies of the party. They don't hate the president. You just need to explain to them that, look, there are still opportunities. The last set of appointments that were made, I am particularly happy, not just because I saw a good number of my friends there, Ali Mali and the rest of them. Well, Ali Mali was on the PCC. There were people on the PCC, like the Lonely Man, Lanre Saunilu,
yes,
on the PCC. Even before the PCC was constituted, Lanre had been working with others. So that is the way
to be compensated.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
They are all around.
That's the way it should be. When you look around, yes, you have an opportunity to put your friends, but don't forget
that they've been working for them, and these people, they are still out there. They are mocking them. People are mocking them.
Yes.
Look at
even before Keyamo was eventually made minister, see the way they were abusing him.
Our market. You know, he wasn't on the first list.
Yes, that's what I said. He had to replace someone. Before he was made minister, they were already mocking him. My joy at a point was, okay, now Keyamo has got some redemption. They will no longer mock him.
Yes.
Even those of us who have said repeatedly on this program that we don't want appointment. I have even said before that I want to be a journalist. This is a job that I've lost since my days in school. I don't want appointment. They will still mock me. They will say, "Oh, Tinubu didn't even consider you for cleaner in Asoro."
Cleaner.
You know, people don't know what they are doing. Did I tell them that I want appointment? I've even said before that if they want to give me, God should not even get them to think about me. What will I do with it? We are different. It's not everybody who wants appointment. But the people worked for the party. Some of them contributed their resources, tremendous resources. They deserve a look-in. Not that they will not get anything at all. They deserve a look-in. And now that the SGF has spoken to them, I hope that there will be other opportunities to look in the direction of such people.
Because it's not always very encouraging when you have situations like this, and some people will rather, they would leave politics or go and join the opposition.
Go for the opposition.
I think politics is about interest.
They've been sidelined.
And everybody that comes out to work for a particular political party is taking out your time, your energy, and people should be recognized. There is no way the president can know everybody. That is why he needs very honest people to tell him the truth. I know there are some honest people around him. Those people should take charge of the processes of appointing people. And
they should not always think of their friends.
Yes, they should not leave it for profiteers. If you are not careful, people can sell positions. They will just pick anybody and collect money and go and tell the president, oh, this person is this and that. So I think they have a very good point. Because if you keep on appointing those people that didn't take active part in the election, they will sabotage the programs and policies of the government.
In the end.
They will just come there as spies, and then at the end of the day, they will go back. They will not show 100% loyalty to the future of that party. So I think they have a very good point. Just like Babangida has said, you cannot appoint everyone. But at least I've seen some faces there that during that election, they played very prominent. I've just seen them on TV now. And I'm surprised, more or less scandalized that nobody has, considered it necessary to look out for them. They nearly dropped Keyam with all what he did.
Yes.
And now people are wondering what happened. So I think there should be a committee. It should not be left for an individual. You have to just pick anybody anyhow. Yes. This minister is talking about, I'm also aware, one of the greatest enemies of the party is now a minister.
Yes.
What kind of system is that?
He's enjoying
yes.
He's enjoying the sweat
it's not
of other people.
Such people will cause internal implosion in the party.
One day.
Time goes on, one day. But they are not there for the party, they are just there.
They've never liked the party.
Oh, yes.
They've never liked the party, they just found themselves there.
Never even liked the man.
Oh, yes.
Never even liked the man.
Yes.
These are the, as journalists, we meet people. If we say some of what some people say,
honestly, it's not everything. People do.
Oh.
You know what we are holding back here.
Yeah.
What people say about even their employers. You are a president, you put someone in a key position, and the way he backbites you, the same person that you hold in high esteem, that you value so much, you think is one of your sensible aides. What they say, you know that it's not all of them who are committed. It's not all of them who love you. You can't give jobs to the enemy.
Yeah.
You must find within the ranks of the very
loyalists
and give them, reward their hard work. Some are saying, look, we did it for Buhari for 8 years. We didn't get anything. Now it has started again. It's not, APC must show that it's a party that rewards loyalty, not simply a party that goes out of its ranks to go and recruit people to come and benefit from the sweat of other people. That there's nowhere in the world that is done. You have to look within and try to reward some of the people. You can't reward everybody, we know that, but you must reward some of them, and I'm sure they will still be ready to work for the party in future.
All right, we'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We'll be right back after this time out.
Lagos is the most visited state in Africa as the 5th largest economy on the continent. Covering the state and its government is no mean feat. It's a busy beat. We go beyond the curtain of tapes to traveling far into the deep.
I want to thank the Lagos State government for the healthcare facility.
To bring stories that cut across all spectrums.
A greater Lagos shall be ours.
We tell you stories that define our collective well-being as Lagosians. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining us, this is Journalist Hangout on Sunday. And on Sunday, we give you more than 60 minutes of interesting... 120 minutes of this show. And I still have Babajide Kolade Titoju and Wale Adoye in the studio. As the insecurity ravaging many parts of Nigeria persists, a tit-for-tat approach may be the way out. The governor of Katsina State, Diko Rada, said people should be allowed to protect themselves with AK-47 and RPGs. RPG is rocket-propelled grenades like bandits. In Benue State, daredevil armed robbers stormed 3 banks in Otukpo and carted away millions of naira. The robbers killed 7 people, including policemen and former councillor, transacting business in one of the affected banks in an operation that lasted for more than an hour. Let's share updates on the story with you.
This is the mood in Otukpo community a day after more than 10 persons were killed during the robbery of 4 commercial banks. Residents are still in shock. Arriving the scene to ascertain the level of damage done is the Deputy Governor Sam Hode, alongside the Commissioner of Police, who gives a breakdown report of the incident.
You all are aware I lost my DPO in this operation and 3 other women police. There are others also that were on admission currently. I'm a little bit fulfilled that at least the police were able to kill at least 2 of them and some arrests made. At least from there, let's start something and see how we can move further.
Together with the Ochi Idoma, the Deputy Governor visits the police headquarters in Otukpo, which was the first place attacked by the bank robbers. There he learned that the robbers had, after their operation, been intercepted by a joint force, with 2 bank robbers gunned down and 4 others arrested.
That was where in the late afternoon we had a lot of gunshot, and when we had that, they were taking, they were uprising and all that. At that day, I called on the police, particularly Lieutenant Krisova, who took over the command of the total event that happened here. He was in the bush. We thought throughout the army, Krisova in the army, the lieutenant.
Some boys came into town in their numbers, walked into our town, and started robbing our banks. We're using IED to blow our banks. 4 banks or 5 banks. They first of all went to the police station.
The Deputy Governor also visits victims receiving treatment on gunshot wound. He says the state government will design a better security architecture to prevent a reoccurrence.
We have seen this happen. We are going to sit down as a community to work together with government so that together we can design a new security architecture to respond to this level of criminality. We are not going to allow this to be swept under the carpet.
The daredevil robbers were said to have operated for over 2 hours, killing more than 10 persons. Mayowa Okwato, TVC News, Otukpo.
Ikon Allah.
Kinga kudi? Kinga kudi?
Look
at them, they are about to leave.
haka fa da iya kama su ba.
Kiji wa waye yu da Allah ma.
Let us guide you. Move forward. Yeah.
Take over. Fire control. Fire control.
Fire control. You mind don't talk to me. To give the whole thing. To give your mind. Let us guide you. If I hold on,
So guys, as you can see, they were actually intercepted while leaving Otukpo. 2 out of the 3 cars those guys are carrying, 2 was intercepted. Now, they might be somewhere around using their foots to just find their way around this bush. You know, as you can see, this is the white loss. These guys are just somewhere around using their foot to find their way. But trust me, I surely believe that these guys, in no time, their identity will be revealed.
Kind of audacity is that? Broad daylight robbery and
operate for hours
at the back of Elox, brandishing this men.
Oh, the superior firepower of the robbers was what enabled them to operate for that long, because the first went is similar to the attack on the banks in the Zulum in Kogi State. They first went to the police station to kill people. So when they got here, they killed the DPO, killed 3 police women, and then proceeded to attack the banks. They used dynamite to blow the door of the banks open so that they can gain access. Once they gain access, the rest is history. But my own worry is Otukpo, as big as it is. In fact, the whole of Zone C in Benue State, there is no military formation that can effectively deal with this kind of threat. There is no squadron of the mobile police that can deal with threats like this. Because this may not be the last time this will happen. So the authorities have to consider setting up maybe a forward operation base of the Nigerian Army to take charge of that Zone C, because we've always had bandits attacking people in Agatu, killing people. So there ought to be maybe a garrison command or a squadron base of the police that would be in that place. If that had been the case, I'm sure these boys would have been taken out. You can see them now moving in their vehicle. One of them was actually carrying a rocket-propelled grenade, you know, and they were wearing masks. It was later that the soldiers came in to try to secure the area. So these 2 vehicles, this car, and the Isuzu Tiger, the multi-terrain vehicle that, okay, this is the second. They actually brought 3 vehicles, you see. There's a 3rd one, yes. So 2 of those vehicles were eventually recovered in the bush, and 2 of the guys were gunned down, 4 were arrested. So it's not totally a bad story. Those arrested, you saw them in the vehicle. Yeah. They will be able to make useful, give useful tips to the police on how to get the rest of them.
You know, it's almost impossible. Wale, it's almost impossible for even a regular policeman to see armed robbers wielding rocket-propelled grenades. This is a new dimension, and you want to wait.
I think the armed robbers are, they were daring, because to come to a community of some over 300,000 people, just come in like that, operate for 2 hours, and then came with 2 vehicles. I think it's quite daring. Though we may be calling them armed robbers, they might also be terrorists
or bandits.
Yeah, because one of their modus operandi is to raid banks to get money for procurement, for procurement of arms. So until the end of the investigation, we may not be certain whether these are terrorists or just a case of armed robbery. But whatever is the case, I think our police should strengthen their intelligence formation. The beauty of security is that from the time of before at the level of conception, for you to be able to discover crime before that crime is carried out. Now we are talking about the loss of lives, including the DPO. So the havoc has been committed, even though you may be able to arrest them after some time, but they have been able to kill people and carted away a lot of funds. And it's interesting that the social media, they were able to capture them, you know. So that shows that it's really not a helpless situation. If we really want to allow our security to be driven by IT, we can do it. A big city like that, I believe that we should learn lessons. So that if you have banks, schools, they should be seen as strategic assets that should be given adequate protection. So that when those who are coming to that city, some people will have seen them. You know, after that operation, any security man should be able to know which exit they are likely to take. So that within 30 minutes or 1 hour, you will reinforce to ensure that they didn't get out of that vicinity.
And they were even distributing, they were sharing money on the
to dissuade people from
coming
close to them, and
you are just throwing some of the money.
Robbers.
Yes, some of the money. You know, Anene too used to do that. Anene used to do that. He will now be throwing. This is the DPO.
Very unfortunate.
Adiku. You know, he's a cousin to one of my friends, Edache. They killed him, you know, in that operation. What they do is just go straight to the police station to first immobilize the police so that the police cannot respond in any way. And then three police women too, who are...
I think a youth copper.
They killed them. When you look at what the governor of...
I wanted to take you to the second level. That's the governor of Katsina State.
I think it's out of frustration. It's out of... because it's not everybody that can even handle RPG. RPG is... they are tank busters. It's not...
To shatter anybody.
It is the bandits who are using it to give themselves some edge over our regular armed forces. But when you see Chadian troops, because they've been used to fighting insurgency for more than 40 years, when you see Chadian troops, when you see any company of Chadian troops, at least 4 persons will have RPG. It's not what our own soldiers have been used to, using RPG to fight conventionally. It's not, but over time,
has gotten to the hands of
people now know that, look, you need to do it. Like when I went to Koshebe, at least some of the soldiers who accompanied me also came with RPG, because it gives you that confidence. Because anything within a 50-meter radius does not stand a chance against the RPG. That is why those boys use it a lot. It's a terrible weapon in their hands at this time. So to even consider that individuals will carry it is like saying that everybody should carry bazooka. It's not even in trying to fire it, you can fall down. You know?
And you have a lot of mentally unstable.
Yes.
And
you wake up in the morning, somebody is waiting to RPG.
We just need to protect our people better. I can feel the frustration of the Zamfara governor, the Katsina governor. They share a heritage of banditry, those 2 states, and they've not. You can see that those governors
is ready to die.
Those governors are distracted. How do you face governance? How do you face governance when these people are not allowing you? They kill your people. If you see the kind of money that governors of this Northwest, apart from Kano and Jigawa, that are safe, those governors, the kind of money they spend on security.
None that meant to channel it to another thing.
Army, the police, they give them allowances, they buy equipment for them. It's not easy. I can feel this frustration, but we can't all carry this kind of weapons.
The solution is not that everyone should. Number one is even illegal. You know, it's Section 423 of the Criminal Code does not allow that. So you have to amend the Constitution before you can.
Maybe they are advocating that we should legalize it.
But I don't think that is the solution. The solution to illegal arms is not more illegal arms. Because you see on the street, people fight over little things. So if you now arm them.
In America, they are still bringing the boat till tomorrow.
Of arms. So it's not the solution, but we can feel it's is frustration. I think what we should talk about is state policing, which I think is the ultimate that we should be looking at.
All right. Okay, joining us in our Abuja studio is Eddie Megwa, NYC spokesman, to speak on the core members abducted in Zamfara State recently by bandits. Eddie, are you there?
Thank you.
Hello, Eddie.
Okay, yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
What can you tell us about your efforts to secure the release of these core members? It's such a terrible thing that they've been there for quite some time.
Yeah, my brother Babajide, thank you very much. It's such a very terrible situation. Our hearts is still very, very terrible. We feel what the parents of these young ones are feeling. Since 18th of August, when these prospective core members were kidnapped, we've not been at rest, so to say. Recall that within that period, I informed Nigerians that immediately this thing happened on the 18th, that the Director General moved with the team of top management to Zamfara State, where 11 of the prospective core members were attacked and kidnapped. Fortunately, at the point where it happened, 3 of them escaped. They were smart enough to have escaped, okay, leaving 8 of them and the driver of the bus conveying them to the orientation camp. With the combined effort of security operatives, on the 1st of September, they were able to secure the release of one of the prospective core members in the arms of the kidnappers. He's a boy, and the management of the scheme took him to hospital, and he's much good now. He's been discharged. Then on Friday 20th, the security agencies again secured the release of yet another lady, a prospective core member. Recall there were 8. So one of them was released on 18th. On the 20th, about 12:30 p.m. And presently she's been taken to hospital, where medical attention is being given to the core member. Right in the hands of the kidnappers, we still have 6 of them, 2 boys and 4 girls. We are praying to Almighty God. With the effort we are seeing that the security agencies are making, we are very, very confident, by God's grace, that soon they will secure the release of the remaining of the prospective core members in the den of the kidnappers. That's the situation where we are for now.
Have they reached out to the families of the core members?
Oh yes. Fortunately enough, the NYC management is having a WhatsApp group where we reach with them. We communicate with the families constantly, and they are so organized. They have a spokesperson among them, and on daily basis, the Director General, Brigadier General Y.D. Ahmed, communicate with the families of these prospective core members, and they are very much in tune of the situation of things that is happening among their wards that are in the hands of the kidnappers. They are very much aware.
Don't you think with this trend, parents will be discouraged? Now we know the lobby for Lagos and Abuja for service because of the safety. Parents might be discouraged for ward to go to other parts of the country.
Well, if you say that, I will not say no, but let us also look at it that this kidnap thing, it's a general thing in the country. And NYSC is not insulated from this kidnap thing that is going on. Everybody, including you yourself, you're at risk wherever you are. You cannot even say that you're safe. I was the state coordinator in Lagos, and while I was there, every fortnight I'll receive call that one of my corps members has been kidnapped, and the idiots will call me and say that they need 200,000 naira, they need 150,000 naira, you know, and immediately I will report to police, and they will track them and go after them. Any moment they are getting close to them, they will leave the corps member and run away. Now, nowhere it's safe, you know, and I think it's a combined effort of everybody in this country, not only the government, including you and I, the local populace, the chiefs, the traditional rulers. Every hands need to be on deck to make sure that we see what we can do to sanitize this system. We don't have to leave this thing in the hands of the security agencies alone. You know, talking about NYSC, especially what you have just said, the NYSC is run by the 3 tiers of government, and it's backed up by the act, you know, enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And we cannot deny any state of corps members. But what we have done is any flashpoint where we have noticed that our corps members are not safe, we don't post them there. For instance, that Funtua road down to Zamfara is an impregnable road once it's 6 p.m. You will need the combined efforts of gun trucks by the military to lead you through that road. And that was why we were crying very far. Why that driver? Haven't seen other drivers packed. Nobody were moving. He continued on that trip until the kidnappers stopped them and took them into the bush. You know, the only thing we need to do is to take proactive steps and to make sure that we don't move in the night. We have taken a study of the kind of kidnap that is going on in the northern part of the country. Most of them is happening in the night. Of course, unless when they want to attack institutions, sometimes they go in the afternoon. But the ones they do along the road is done in the night. So if we can afford to avoid traveling in the night, which we have sent messages to all our corps members, please don't move in the night. Once it's 6 p.m., stop wherever you are. Pass the night, somewhere that is safe. The next day you continue. In fact, the Director General, in realization of this fact, had to extend the registration period before the swearing-in ceremony up to 3-4 days, so that they will have enough time to arrive at their various orientation camps before the swearing-in ceremony.
I want to thank you, Eddie Megwa. I want to thank you, the spokesperson of the NYSC. And Jide, it's always this race. I remember when I had to go to Abakaliki, we served by Tuesday, the camp was going to close. Yes. And we were mobilized by Sunday. We had to leave Lagos. So all I could do was just to make sure I go to the camp before Tuesday, get to the camp before Tuesday morning closure.
I think it's
now that he has been extended,
yes, because
it's good.
That's why some of them would even travel in the night. That's why some of them would travel in the night.
Yes, it's not worth it anywhere in Nigeria now.
It's not worth it. No, it's not worth it at all. I feel for the families of those kids since August. It's terrible.
All right. Like the proverbial lizard that fell from the tree, the National Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has given itself some credits for the credible conduct of the 2023 election. INEC said 891 petitions out of 1,196 filed against the 2023 polls have either been dismissed or withdrawn. It said the loss of 74.7% of the petition confirmed that the credibility of the election, if conducted, INEC added that it cannot be held responsible for pre-election petitions which arose from party primaries. Jide, it's this statistic is quite.
INEC is, for me, the presidential election. I've said it so many times that the presidential election, INEC did well. The only reason many people are not happy with INEC is that inability to post on IRF, but the conduct of the election and the kind of people that even emerged. These are people that ordinarily, if we bear the kind of elections we used to have in our country in mind, they would not emerge. Do you know how many governors were defeated? In the past, they would simply have written the results. Governors, you know how many APC governors lost? They couldn't defend their states for Asiwaju presidential election. At least 12 of them, 12 APC governors.
Out of 22.
Could not defend their states. You know? So, if in spite of that, you still think that the election was a terrible one, the worst in our history, as some people who were not even born when we had some of the terrible elections are saying, you have to agree that for it to have reached that level, then we have to give some credit to INEC and the fact that especially the beavers worked. The beavers really helped us to achieve electoral integrity during that election. There are other areas that we have to look at. The deliberate resort to violence in places where the opponent is strong. They've been doing this for years. People will just come and go and, because they know that the opponent is strong in this area, they will go there, send talks. Talks will disrupt election. And the INEC regulation says where elections are disrupted, no result shall be returned. No result shall be returned from some polling centers. But in my view, that is playing into the hands of the aggressor. That's playing into the hands of the aggressor. The aggressor knew I would defeat him in my polling station. He deliberately sent talks to disrupt the election. So I'm unable to defeat him because he has exploited that portion of the law that stipulates that no result shall be returned from any polling center where voting was characterized by violence. So that's one area I think that the framers of our law.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
Politics is defined as getting what, where, when, and how. But in the mix, many things come to play to shape the political fortune of any country.
Honorable Minister, that's how you misinform the public.
From the political actors to the electorate, campaign to voting, from debates to policy decisions, big events happen to engage us in constant conversation.
That's what we're looking for. Not some people who are talking about ethnicity. No.
Who is on your mind?
Don't worry.
Join me every day on Politics Tonight, where we dissect issues that shape our political destiny. Politics Tonight, weekdays on TVC News.
Thank you for staying with us. It's still Journalist Hangout on Sunday. And then, Wale, these statistics, INEC, anytime INEC will be a defendant, anytime we have any court case, and from these statistics, you can say scientifically, empirically, you can prove their point of view that, look, if out of 1,196 cases filed against them in 2023, that 891, that's representing 74.4% of it, has been withdrawn or struck out.
Well, I think it's a data-driven evidence to prove that INEC did well this last election. In terms of, did you get the best election? I mean, a perfect election? Well, the answer is no. But in comparative sense, compared with 1999, I think this is the best election we have had. Out of 82 petitions for governorship elections, 72 dismissed, 87%. That's 87%. Out of 146 senatorial petitions, 100 dismissed by the courts. Out of 143 petitions for House of Rep, next court is 68%. House of Assembly, out of 550 petitions, 468 dismissed, 82.4% for INEC. So I think when we are talking about sources of INEC, we do we tabulate the different points: security, timeliness, access to polling units, rigging, multiple voting, violence. So if you take all these points, you will discover that you are going, even when people are talking about EU reports and all that, EU made 25 recommendations, though they are just 110 observers. It's just like a drop in the ocean. But if you look at the complete EU reports, they gave credit to INEC in so many areas.
It wasn't a bad this also.
This idea of just throwing the baby with the bathwater, I don't think is good.
I think some Nigerians that will see that they are against the election, they are basing the credibility of the election on maybe their expectations were met or not. That, my candidate did not win. So as a result of that election is flawed.
That is a very valid observation. People have to look at things holistically. They have to look at the the bigger picture. The fact that INEC made a promise that it will upload results, it uploaded in respect of the National Assembly election, but in terms of the presidential election, INEC claimed that it suffered some glitches. We experienced many cyber attacks on the day of the election and the day after it. So INEC said, it had glitches. People are not prepared to believe INEC. So they felt that, it was because INEC wanted to rig for the ruling party. That how come it was able to upload for in respect of the National Assembly election, but it couldn't do that for them. But you cannot dismiss the election on account of inability to upload on IREV. Yes, INEC made that promise.
Exercise.
You cannot dismiss it and come up with some ridiculous claims that, it's the worst election in our history. How many have you seen? A lot of them were not even born in 1983. Did you see 1983 election? Did you see 2003 election?
A lot of them were born in 1999.
Did you know? Did they see 1999 election? Did they see 2003 election? Supreme Court wanted to cancel it.
That we had ballot papers, not that wasn't serialized.
They were not serialized. And that was one of the conditions to affirm electoral integrity.
Yes.
So the judges of the Supreme Court were divided. They were like, oh, what do we do? If it was before, if it was now, when you it doesn't take so long to decide cases, I can almost swear that those judges will have cancelled that election. Because the fact that they were not serialized means that you can take ballot materials from your hometown
to another place and stuff it
or say local government of Ondo State and take it to the north to go and vote, to go and use it to vote. So they almost cancelled that election. 4-3 was the verdict.
Very close.
Onogen, Justice Onogen supported the fact that they should cancel the election. Justice Binta Aloma Mukhtar. Aloma Mukhtar. Binta Aloma Mukhtar also supported the fact that they should cancel. And then the former
George
High Commissioner, yes,
Justice George
Ogutade also said yes, this is the decision. But before then, as somebody told me, somebody who had been in the Supreme Court said the decision they wanted to cancel it, but when you bear in mind that they had done, the government had spent about 3 years or so.
Yes, I remember. We didn't have time. That's circumstantial.
You know, so they just decided, okay, let it go. I mean,
was that bad?
It was terrible, terrible. So if it was today, I'm sure they will have cancelled it. Maybe it's just about how many days? 180 days, and then you have a fresh election. It's not like I was in the Supreme Court when Obasanjo finally defeated Buhari in 2006. For an election held in 2003.
I'm telling you.
So this is the thing. We
electoral system.
So when they say oh, it's the worst election, how many elections have you seen? You just deceive yourself. What kind of absolutism is this? How many elections have you seen? You can't dismiss an election because IREV alone. IREV is just one of the issues, but that election produced people who ordinarily in the past would not have won an election. People say the man who speaks big grammar in Cross River State. He was defeated. He wanted to go to the Senate. The governor now with the antiquated pattern. He was defeated. and several others like that. Big people. But they don't talk about that. That's what we call throwing the baby out of the bathwater. They don't talk about the fact that that election allowed ordinary candidates to defeat big candidates. And that's the beauty of a
credible election.
Yes. So although all of these elections, all of these litigations some of them were not even election related. You know?
That's what
yes. Some of them were pre-election matters. They will still take it before.
Waste the time of INEC, waste the time of their lawyers, and waste.
For example, someone told me that look, you want an election petitions court to decide on forgery. It's a federal high court that handles forgery. That's what the person told me. It's not for the election petitions court to determine whether it's forgery or not.
You want the election.
The election, and that's why many people see it also as a pre-election matter. It should go to the regular courts. So, but let's not go into that, so that
because these are ahead.
Amount to substance.
These are ahead. All right, and finally, there's still much ado about the planned sport utility vehicles worth 160 million naira each for lawmakers as official vehicles. The Labour Party lawmakers in the National Assembly ignored the advice by the party's national chairman, Julius Abure, not to be a part of the vehicles, not to collect the vehicles. Abure had described the alleged plan as insensitive and urged lawmakers elected on his party platform not to be part of it at all. Wally, it's as if Abure does not know that, look, this guy is a vehicle that will take them to power, that the Labour Party is not from...
I think that the Labour Party chairman stretches his imagination about the Labour Party. Just like many Nigerians, you know, that we think, oh, Labour Party, you know,
the best sense in sliced bread.
The Labour Party of today is not a revolutionary party. It's not even a workers' party. It's not a proletarian party. It's a party of convenience that brought together all sorts of individuals.
Yes.
You know, who just felt, look, we are not happy with the economic policies of the former regime.
PDP or APC, SPV,
CBN, Naira swap. We are not happy.
So just join Labour Party and
once you join,
it wasn't as if one ideology like the Awolowo guys.
I think this has busted that illusion, and I hope Nigerians should take note that you know, and it also shows that there is no, you know, strong culture of discipline in Labour Party. If the APC chairman called these party people, don't do this, they will not do it. But party, you know, Labour Party members cannot do that. I'm telling you,
coming from outside. Most of them,
are just individuals, and even the party chairman, they have not interacted with him for a very long time. Yes. Are just individuals.
Does he even know them?
Does he even know them? Do they have respect for him? Are they even giving him guarantee that the next 2 years they will be in that Labour Party? So that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of them are in talks
of the next election. They will port to.
Some of them are in talks.
It was a party brought together by spontaneous anger, not by philosophy or ideology and all that. And this has come out so clearly.
An electoral convenience.
Yes, just for convenience, you know. So this Puritan posturing, you know, we should stop it.
It's a waste of
you know. But I think I would also like to add that I would have wished that because I met somebody who is one of the youths in the presidency, and he told me that, look, even the presidency is here to buy new vehicles. So I think they should have, you know, this shouldn't be a top priority. Because if you calculate this, it's about billions of naira.
57 billion.
You know, what if you had given them 20 million naira each to go and buy a vehicle? Go and buy Innocent. They are going to buy Prado that is going to, they need foreign exchange to buy this Prado. And manufacturers need forest, they cannot get it. So I think this should not have been top priority. You know, I think they should have taken their time to look at the sensibility of Nigerians and the fact that a lot of people are, you know, at this time, they should have, it shouldn't be top priority. Most of them don't even travel by road anyway. They go by air. So they will only need this in the city of Abuja. But as for the Labour Party, I think the man was deceiving himself to think that
it's overrated.
You know.
Back to the Labour Party. I remember Lagos Island where people like Banky W and what's the name of this Senator Obanikoro's son, you know, contested, you know, but it was just a wave of revolution that anything apart from APC and PDP and the young man that got the ticket got to find himself in the House of Rep. How would this kind of person live?
No, they were not, you know, they
doesn't even have posters.
It pained them. Where they now realize that,
our own Banky.
Yes, God, shouldn't have done this to Banky. It pained them. But that's the point.
Same day.
Maybe I will agree with the Yaga people, for example, that they should be putting the pictures of candidates. But with the whimsical judicial system that we have, and the fact that people will even file matters very late. Some candidates for an election will not know until 2 days to the election.
That's true.
How do you then print? How do you print for everybody?
That's
How do you put pictures of everybody?
That's difficult.
So now if they had Banky W and all that,
yes,
perhaps they will have seen that this person is better. This person has always been with us and is a very famous artist and all that.
Zone of our own.
Yes. Now, just as Wale said, some of these people in the Labour Party, Abure and the rest of them, they are seeing the Labour Party as some form of utopia, like the best party in Nigerian history, like they are seeing it as
ideology,
as the elevation that any political party could have. But the mistake they are making is that those guys were once in PDP.
Yes.
Some were once in ACN. Were once in APC. I have a friend, for example, who had been in the PDP for years before he joined the Labour Party, and today is in the House of Reps as a Labour Party member. Many of them took the strategic decision, seeing that, in the Southeast now, people are moving in the direction of Peter Obi.
Yes.
If I remain in PDP,
I'll be swimming against the tide.
I will be swimming against the tide. The expedient decision for me to take is to go to Labour, not because they have any ideological.
No, at all.
No. Nigerian political parties are by nature not ideological. It is in APC. APC will say, "Oh, ours is a progressive party." You will find what's his name? Former governor of Zamfara.
Yari.
No, his Oga, Yari's Oga.
Okay.
Yerima. Ahmed Sane, Yarima Bakura. You will see him in APC, and you will still see somebody who all his life he had been a progressive in APC. So, what are we talking about? The parties are just, by name, they are progressive, they are...
as you said, they are special vehicle.
Yes, just because SPVs. Normally, that's not where you should find somebody who we all know is anything but progressive. So now they are telling him, some of them were telling Abure that did he buy vehicles for us? He has not given us vehicles, and he's saying we should not collect.
Some people, that's their first opportunity in life. They can 160
they are very deluded that you think they will listen to you. You've not given them anything in return. Now, how many are they? For that decision to make impact, so many of them must agree that we don't need these vehicles at this time. This is insensitive. The Labour Party has only 8 members in the Senate. Only 8
out of
109.
It's a reflection of the same election.
Yes.
That was held the same.
They have only 35 out of 360 in the House of Reps. That is not substantial enough to force. If the goal is to say, okay, if all of us say we don't...
They don't even form a simple majority.
There are not many. Now, there is Ngozi Okoli from Aniocha North and South. That is the person that defeated Elumelu in court.
Yeah.
Hear what he's saying.
Delta State.
Yes. The jeeps are work tools for lawmakers. State level politicians get a lot more. I don't know where he got that information from. The SUVs are meant to aid our jobs as lawmakers, particularly as it relates to our oversight functions. Yes, it can say the economy is struggling, but having one official vehicle as a federal lawmaker isn't frivolous. And then another one, Stainless, Chijoke Nwodo said, nobody in the National Assembly is against the vehicles. When they come, we will collect them and use them to bring more benefits to our constituencies. National Assembly members should pray for the president and give him 3 bosas for his magnanimity. That's somebody who will reject. That's the person who will reject Jipu. But the message of Abure should also not be forgotten. He is saying that at this time, when a bag of rice costs 50,000, when Nigerians are hungry, people's eyes are bloodshot, that we shouldn't even be talking about this. But the mistake that is making is that the Nigerian politician, the average Nigerian politician, sees their work at the national level. They see it as a buffet, where you just bring your knife, you cut your own portion, make sure your portion is bigger than that of...
Go back again, it's not enough.
If you are not had your fill, you go back. That's the way they've done their own. They cut their own. National cake is not where they just take a little portion, like a woman watching her weight. No. National cake, you cut it. That is how the politician feels. That's how they think. So all of this argument, this is a bad time, they don't agree. And innocent, my brother wants innocent. They will not agree to innocent. Write it down.
I know.
If you say you are bringing innocent for them, they will reject it. We saw what happened. One, they will say innocent does not have capacity. This was what, what happened with, I think the governor of Abia wanted...
Opus Odima.
No, Abia.
Okay.
Abia, declared that they should bring innocent. But in the end, they discovered that, according to them, that innocent did not have capacity to deliver all of the vehicles they wanted. So they changed their mind. In the case of Uzodinma, he insisted that they should build a service station.
Yes.
In
So
the
that
state.
parts.
Yes.
Anytime.
Because that's the problem.
Because
Now,
those vehicles, anytime you have any issue with it, they
you can easily
replace
go to a
it.
service station. He said they did not agree on that. They did not build a service station.
And
Because
most
of
of
that,
those the vehicles will have
because of
problems.
that, he refused to pay the balance of their money. Our politicians, they think about themselves, not you and I.
One of them even said he will wait till they deliver the vehicle before he takes his decision.
Yes,
Can you imagine
takes
that?
his decision. He's
He wants
waiting
to
for
get
them
vehicle
to bring.
before you decide.
That one is saying they should give the president 3 busas. The president has not even delivered. He's already anticipating that the thing will come. He's talking about 3 busas for the president. So all that he's saying, he's just wasting his time. Nobody will listen to him. There is no difference between the Labour Party federal lawmaker and the APC or PDP federal lawmaker. We know those of them who are in those parties. So what are you telling us? When it comes to their interests, the Nigerian politician will take care of his interest first and foremost, before thinking of your own interest, before thinking of his interest, before even thinking that there is a national chairman. Abure is still very new on the job. He's new on the job of national chairman.
And he's not sitting pretty.
Yes, the forgery matter is still there. He's yet to get the court to vacate the order. And they told him not to parade himself as a national chairman, but he's parading
against them, Lamidi.
They know that one is based on forgery.
Okay.
And the political side is different. But that forgery matter, they accuse them of forging people's signatures, even forging withdrawal letters. And police investigated and submitted a preliminary report to the court. It's yet to have it vacated. They don't talk about it. They see themselves as Puritans, as people who that if you put water in their mouths, that you come back and find the water intact. That's the way they present themselves. But there's a forgery case that they refuse to talk about.
I was shocked when I heard about that.
It's there. Ask the guys who are going to court, Sele and the rest of them. The matter is still there. Nobody has succeeded in setting it aside. And as long as they do not set it aside, it will continue to haunt him. He will continue to haunt him. He may see himself as a Puritan, but you must vacate it. Otherwise, it's there.
So, Wale Falani on this vehicle thing, it's not too expedient as according to what you said earlier.
Yes, unfortunately, when you are dealing with National Assembly, the presidency is helpless. If you go against them, they will rise up against you. So that's the unfortunate thing. But I think at this tough period that the Nigerians are passing through very difficult moments, I think it's embarrassing that people are asking for a vehicle worth 160 million. That when you put it together, you are talking of 40-something billion.
120 million for one.
It's quite unfortunate.
120 billion for one vehicle. And that's what we do. Every 4 years we'll still buy.
Yeah, and we'll buy furniture.
Every 4 years.
We'll buy furniture and we'll pay for accommodation.
We give them.
Yes, as far back as 1999,
After
we've been having problem of furniture allowance of $30,000.
You can't be telling us to.
For me, I think there was a fundamental mistake made, even with the monetization policy. These guys should be staying in that water.
Honestly.
They should be staying there.
For legislators, once you finish your 4 years,
that's why they
back
build the place.
They renovate it.
That's why you build the place. Now what we have is some people have bought the building.
Yes, no.
So whether they are lawmakers or not.
No. They've sold it out.
So you now give them cash to take care of furniture and accommodation. You give them millions. I don't know how much they give there. I know one time they were taking like 120 million.
I said for 1999-2000, it was a scandal. BBC reported it, $30,000. It was a big money. Big money that time. Like, furniture allowance, $30,000.
You can't convince Nigerians that things are bad, they should firm up. When we can see what you are using their public funds to do. How do you convince us to have trust in you?
It's very insensitive to continue to do that. They have to know that it's against the mood in the country to even flaunt this thing before people.
It's embarrassing.
They should be able to talk to them and say, look, what can we do? What is even wrong in people even using their vehicles? And Nigerians, I think we have to do a program on the immediate past registrar of the CAC, the one that was removed recently, and the staff were jubilating. I dare those staff jubilating to bring out evidence that the man stole money.
They were jubilating maybe because he didn't allow them to steal.
Yes. That is the thing.
Automated.
They said the man will bring his own car, and you cannot take official car home. Can't take it home. And he too will not do that. So
that's why they were jubilating.
They didn't like that. They felt it was too stubborn for them, it was too harsh. We will discuss the guy's matter because those are the people that we need in our country.
Role models.
Yes. You know, he's, I think he's grandson of the late Tafa Balewa. When you see people jubilating like that somebody has try to investigate. If they can't bring evidence that Abubakar stole money, shame on them. You are jubilating because somebody was removed. Bring evidence that he stole money. We are waiting to discuss the evidence that he stole money. But you can't just be jubilating because somebody was removed. You felt it was too firm for you. And there are people who are coming out to say, it's always been like this. We need such people. We must headhunt them. We must find them wherever they are. Because those are the true patrons. They are the people who love their country.
People like the JAM registrar.
Yes.
Justice that should be giving national awards.
Even this woman, the former NAFDAC woman, how Obasanjo discovered her, you know, went abroad, brought back Esther code. She didn't spend the money, you know, and they kept her in one small corner. And Obasanjo now said, go and bring that woman for me. So Obasanjo that said it with his own mouth that this was how I discovered her. So we have people. We have people who have integrity, people that will never steal, no matter the temptation, you know. And you can't offer women to them because sometimes people offer money and you don't take it. You offer woman. Yeah, they'll find something.
There must be.
You have your own number. There are some, whether you bring woman or not, you still can't get them.
People collected $50 million, $50 million cash. Took it to CBN to register it as bribe money. No, that's still some Nigerians. I would thank you. And the messenger himself. Thank you. And that's our offering today on Journalist Hangout on Sunday. You can catch us, you can join us tomorrow for our regular episode of the program by 5 p.m. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11:30 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TBC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubago. See you tomorrow by 5 p.m.
There is always more to a story than the scribbled headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light.